Good evening, Internet. The Real Shroom here, and tonight I'm going to play a Pioneer League just for fun. Magic is in a very weird state right now. First of all, it's kind of a lame duck format, all formats of Magic basically, except maybe Modern, where this won't matter as much. But there's this gigantic Frontier set that's about to release in 2 weeks that has like 1,000 cards in it, and it's mostly reprints, some of which are quite good. You know, like there's Day of Judgment being reprinted, which is just a 4 mana without any upside or downside sweeper. I mean, that's going to be a really good card in Standard. We haven't had a card like that in quite a while, and there's a few other reprints that are like that, but all of the new cards that are being printed into Frontiers seem like they're actually quite good. They're in line with modern Magic design, meaning that they are power level pushed beyond what, you know, cards 5 or 6 years ago would have been. So in a weird way, you know, it's kind of pointless to play or show off brews in like Pioneer or Standard, the formats I usually play, because there's this giant set that's about to drop. But I'm going to play anyway, just because, you know, it's going to be fun. The other thing that was recently announced is that the Universes Beyond sets are going to be legal in every format. That includes Standard and Pioneer and Modern. And I have to say, I really don't like this change. Although I'm not really a fan of like Magic lore, I think like if you think about the rules mechanic too closely in conjunction with the lore, it's a little silly. But I always like the fact that Magic had lore. That if you really wanted to, you know, you could read the books and stories and whatever, and find out what's actually happening in each set. There are characters that we follow, planeswalkers and, you know, legendary creatures and whatnot, and there are things actually happening in these sets that are described by the cards. And like what's on the cards is mostly just consistent and follows the beats of the Magic lore. And even though, you know, there's lots of weird stuff going on, the art design of the different sets, you know, even though they're all from like different planes and whatnot, there was to me like sort of a feeling like it is a consistent setting. It is all in the same world, as it were. I know the world is actually like a multi-planar multiverse or whatever, but it all seemed to be coming from the same, you know, intellectual property. But that's no longer going to be the case going forward. And Wizards said that they weren't going to do this. That's the part that really rubs me the wrong way, is that they said when they first started releasing these sets, they're going to be Commander only, you know, like maybe Lord of the Rings was like Modern and Legacy, but it wasn't going to touch Pioneer and Standard. All of that completely out the window. So now 2 years from now, you could have like Iron Man and Spider-Man attacking down your Liliana of the Veil and block with your SpongeBob or something. And I just don't like that. But there's nothing I can really do about that. We'll see. Like, will I want to play in a world where Iron Man and Thor are attacking my Liliana and SpongeBob is blocking? I'm not sure about that. That seems like, I don't know, a little bit beyond the pale of like what I'm used to in Magic, and a little bit ridiculous. I mean, even by the standards of what's currently being slung in Magic, I just don't like it. So we'll see what happens in the future as far as that goes. And of course, this means that like they're now doubling the number of sets they're going to be printed into Standard effectively, because all of these Universes Beyond sets are now Standard legal, whereas before they were not. So there's going to be like 6 sets released a year into Standard. It's going to be like a new Standard set every 2 months, which is going to make it very hard to keep up as like a content creator and a brewer. This constant deluge of like new cards, you know, it's going to be very taxing on like time to build decks and on, you know, money to crack packs and get wild cards and buy cards and whatnot. So, you know, I really don't like this change. I plan on continuing to make Magic content, you know, in the foreseeable future. But I'm foreseeing a point where I may not want to play Magic anymore if this gets like too ridiculous and out of hand. I hope it doesn't come to that point, because I still enjoy playing Magic and I want to continue playing it. But I don't know if I want my SpongeBob to be attacking my opponent's Jace and being blocked by Ant-Man, you know? It's silly. It's just silly, and I don't like it. But anyway, we are in this lame duck format, but I'm going to play some Pioneer anyway. Pioneer is a particularly lame duck format, by the way, because there's none of the 2025 regional qualifiers are going to be in the Pioneer format, which is kind of it blows my mind, like, and a lot of other people's as well, that there's like three major competitive formats of Magic where there's tournaments. There's Standard, there's Pioneer, and there's Modern, and they just removed one of those three formats from like the highest level of competitive play entirely. Why? Like, I don't even like playing Modern anymore. I'm sad to say it was my favorite format for a really long time, but I hated the Lord of the Rings cards. I hate the One Ring. I hated Orcish Bowmasters, and I thought Modern Horizons 2 was too pushed, and eventually over time, I kind of grew to accept it, grew to get used to it, and I still think the cards are like too good. Cards like Ragavan, Urza's Saga, Dothy Voidwalker, a lot of these cards are just too good. But Modern Horizons 3 is just like next level broken. It makes that set look like like a draft set, like something that was released 10 years ago or something. It's just way too much for me, and I just don't enjoy it. I've discovered. I tried, I really did, but I just can't get into MH3 Modern. So that leaves only two formats that I want to play is Pioneer and Standard, and one of those isn't even going to be like a format that major tournaments are going to be held in. So a lot of stuff that's really disappointing to me. I'm not sure about the future of Magic. I still am hopeful that it might be cool. That maybe some good will come out of this, but we'll see. Anyway, all that is just a preamble. Tonight I'm going to play a Pioneer League, even though it is the most lame duck of lame duck formats. I'm going to dust off the old Mana Traders account and run a Pioneer League. And this is a revisitation of a deck that I played a long time ago, combined with some elements from decks I've been playing recently, where we try to punish our opponent for drawing cards. Now, you've heard of Draw Go Control. I think I'm calling this deck like Draw Lose or something, because when our opponent draws cards, they're going to die. How is this going to happen? Let's take a look. Well, of course, the number one way this is going to happen is via Sheoldred the Apocalypse. This is just like my favorite win condition. This card, if you've played Magic in the last, 4 years or so, you know how good this card is. This card basically says if you can protect it according to the rules of Magic, you just win the game. Pings your opponents for 2 every time they draw a card. We're combining this with this cool little 2/2 menace, Stormfist Crusader. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card and loses a life. So on this means we get to draw extra cards every turn, which is great. It pings our opponent by itself when we draw that extra card, and it gives them an extra card too, which is awesome. And combined with Sheoldred, it pings them for 3 when they draw that extra card, and pings them an extra time every turn cycle because they're getting that extra card off the Stormfist Crusader. And we're combining this also with Underworld Dreams, this very old school 3 black enchantment, where whenever our opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to them, which is great. And the piece that just got added from Duskmourn is this Razorkin Needlehead, 2 red for 2/2. It has first strike during our turn. Whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to them. So this is like half of Sheoldred for half the mana cost. And this is quite a combination of effects that's going to make it so that if our opponent draws cards, they're going to die pretty fast. Sheoldred, Underworld Dreams, Stormfist Crusader, Razorkin Needlehead, all that damage is going to add up, and it's just going to kill our opponent. Just by the game of Magic progressing through its normal phases. So we are giving our opponent extra cards with Stormfist Crusader. That's why we're playing the 2 High Noon in the main board. We have a third one in the sideboard, because this is actually just a good card against a lot of decks in Pioneer right now. But this just makes it so that they can't really capitalize on their extra cards too much. They're restricted to only casting 1 spell per turn. So although they're going to be getting those extra cards, they won't be able to utilize those cards quickly. And then we're in Mardu colors, so we've got a bunch of interaction. We've got 3 Fatal Push, we've got 4 Thoughtseize, we've got 2 Get Lost, we've got 2 Vanishing Verse. I think this card is really good against a lot of stuff, including Phoenix. Like, there's now these demon decks that are getting really popular, with like Unholy Annex, which is kind of a ridiculous card. There's lots of like Unstoppable Slashers, Archfiends of the Dross. So this card has more targets than ever before. It's always been good, in some number in Pioneer, but I think it's just better than ever. So I'm including 2 in the main board, and 2 Lightning Helix round out our interaction suite. And then we have a little bit of card draw. We're a 24 land deck, control deck. We want to see the important cards in our deck to get to what we need when we need it. We got the Stormfist Crusaders to help us out with a little more card draw. We're adding a couple of Maze Mind Tomes and 1 Insatiable Avarice. Incidentally, the 3 black mana mode of Insatiable Avarice, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. If we have our card draw effects on the board. This can just kill our opponent outright for 3 mana, which is nice. It can be a burn spell for like 9 or 12 or something, and that's fantastic. Oh, by the way, High Noon, of course, also has a Lava Axe stapled to it. So if we ever have our opponent down to 5 life, we just pay 5, deal 5 damage to them with the High Noon. And then we've got a Lorn of the Third Path as a little bit of artifact enchantment hate in the main board, which is good. Like most decks in Pioneer do run some number of artifacts and enchantments. It also has the mode of being able to tap to have us and target opponent each draw a card, which can be the finisher for this deck. If we have all of our punishing card draw effects on the table, you know, we can tap Lorn and deal 3, 4, 5 damage to our opponent to close out the game. So it's especially good in this deck because of that capability. And we've got a couple of Surge of Salvation to help protect our stuff against removal, of which there is an awful lot in Pioneer. There's just so much, because there has to be, because you have to play a bunch of removal to survive the aggressive decks. So Surge of Salvation is there in the main board in some number to protect us against all that removal, because we want to keep our Shelleys and our Razorkin Needleheads on the battlefield. So that's the main plan. We're going to punish our opponent for drawing cards. We don't even really need to attack. We just let our static card draw punishment effects do the dirty work for us. There's a total of 24 lands in the deck. This will be my first time testing out Verges in a 3-color deck. And I think with this build, they are pretty good, because we're very heavily leaning on like red and black cards. We've got the red and black lands. We've got the Blood Crypts. We've got the 4 of Savai Triumphs. Nothing too fancy. We have 1 Takenuma in the mana base, but we don't have anything too fancy. 2 Demolition Fields, just because I feel naked with 0, especially in a control deck like this, where it is going to go to the late game, where like creature lands are going to become relevant. Some number of Demolition Field, I feel, is like necessary, and we'll see. Our mana situation is kind of crazy in this deck. We might want to curve a turn 2 Razorkin Needlehead into a turn 3 Underworld Dreams, so our color requirements are just crazy. So we can't afford to play colorless lands. And in testing, the land mana base has been doing pretty good. The Verges are often turned on to be dual lands that are untapped, which are actually, I'm pretty impressed with these lands. I think they're quite good. So hopefully our mana base will not betray us, and we'll get our colors when we need to. The sideboard contains a couple of Rest in Peace and 1 Grafdigger's Cage against the graveyard decks. Rest in Peace obviously just exiles all the graveyard. Grafdiggers is kind of a hybrid graveyard hate piece and a piece against collected company decks, of which there's some that are popular. Like there's a Transmogrify deck that's also quite popular, which Grafdigger's Cage shuts down, although it doesn't shut down Indomitable Creativity, unfortunately. We've got the 3rd High Noon in the sideboard for matchups where it's good. We've got a Duress in the sideboard against control decks, so we can have 5 main board discard effects. We've got Vanishing Verses number 3 and 4, so we can fill out the full play set in matches where it's good, which is going to be a lot of matchups. We've got a couple of Heliod's Intervention, just to be able to just mass destroy artifacts and enchantments. I'm a big fan of this card. Can also gain us life in situations where it's needed. We've got the 3rd Surge of Salvation against those black decks that are packing all those removal spells. 1 of Roiling Vortex is here for decks that want to gain life, so we can shut down the life gain. A couple of Torpor Orbs. I always like to run some version of this effect. We don't use ETB triggers whatsoever. A lot of decks in Pioneer do rely on that, so Torpor Orb lets us shut that down. A couple of Pithing Needles is a versatile and useful sideboard card. You can name everything from like Cauldron Familiar to like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Very versatile, useful card that has a lot of valid targets in Pioneer. So that is the plan. We are going to play a League of Pioneer, even though there's like not really much going on. There's not any particular reason to. I just wanted to dust off the old Mana Traders account and just play a league for fun. So let's see if we can have some fun in a Pioneer League. And if you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. All right, our first match is going to be against Waterhole. Will be on the draw, and this hand looks fine. We'll keep it. It doesn't have any. Yeah, it's got a Vanishing Verse. We'll keep. We can actually turn to a Needlehead, so that's cool. So it could be Phoenix. We'll lead it on our Triome. Well, I haven't played Moto in a while. How's it looking? It's fine. Alright, it is Phoenix. So I think we'll go with a Needlehead. They torch the tower. Freeing the Fae. They have a Phoenix, 2 Phoenixes in their graveyard. Alright, do we need to deal with this Ledger Shredder? It looks pretty bad, honestly. They're really well set up to go off next turn. So I think game 1's going to be rough against Phoenix. The question is, do we want to play a creature, or do we want to deal with Ledger Shredder? We probably need to deal with Ledger Shredder. Because that gives them such a greater opportunity. Because it gets huge on its own. It's kind of a shame that we didn't draw like a Fatal Push. Oh man, I don't know. Using this against a Phoenix is great too. I think we just do this now though. So, you know, as I was saying in the intro, I've always thought Magic lore was like, is kind of silly, but it was inoffensive at the worst. I always thought it was silly that like, oh, we're coming out with like the High Noon like Old West set, so they have any possible pun you could make about like Old West type stuff. They make a card out of it. So do I want to Underworld? They did not play a Phoenix last turn. I just think whatever creature I play is gonna get killed. I could double Stormfist Crusader. I guess I'll do that. It's a good use of mana. Like, oh, we're doing our Old West set, so there's like Holy Cow, you know? Or we're doing New Capenna, our like mob set, so there's like an offer you can't refuse, you know? I was kind of was able to like roll my eyes, like, okay, whatever, you know? You're doing that, so you gotta have those cards, because you like can't think of anything better to print or something. But I don't know. So now they get back their Phoenixes, and we die. Treasure Cruise, Sheoldred does not keep us alive. But this universe is beyond stuff it's beyond all that. We want our Rest in Peace and Graphics Cage. We want High Noon for sure. We want Vanishing Verse in some number. I think I want all 4. And I think we want Surge of Salvation too. Cut a Thoughtseize. When we go up all this interaction, we gotta shave some of our stuff, including our creatures. Go cut Insatiable Avarice. Just run a couple of Thoughtseize. They're a little aggro to be running the whole playset. play. I think it's just pure greed by Hasbro, because by taking this step of allowing, universes beyond sets in the major formats, like they're adding some number, if not doubling, the number of sets that are legal in those formats. So if you want to play those formats, you got to buy more cards. What do we have here? If we can find white mana, this is pretty good because we do have a high noon. If we can resolve it, I think I'll keep. So our Verge right now is only a black source, which is too bad. And as I was saying, like there's always been silliness on account of the lore that I sort of was able to eye roll and just look past. But that silliness was all like contained within the plane or whatever that was the subject of the set. Okay, pretty clear. Spell pierce or something. Spell pierce or a removal spell. Let's go with the Stormfist Crusader. Alright, well, drawing a white source at some point would be good. Opt. So they have one Phoenix and they shock. A swamp. We still don't have white mana though. Do we try to run out our Razorkin? It's like certainly gonna die. I think we'll wait. If I can find white, I'll also have a Surge of Salvation available. Is Disney buying Hasbro? No, they do these universes beyond sets where I guess they partner with, whoever owns the IP. Treasure Cruise. Oh. I mean, I guess we'll just cast this because we can. Opponent has 7 cards in hand. Still no white mana. It's absolutely pointless to cast this because it's impossible that they don't have a removal spell. Well, we drew another Razorkin, so I guess we'll play one. How many Phoenix do they have? Just 2? Another treasure cruise? Okay, oh, maybe it's good they aren't having Pioneer in any formats. Just kidding. Pioneer is like 2 bans away from being just fantastic. I mean, Standard is really good right now too, but Pioneer would be, you know, the new Modern for me. A couple bans. Sheoldred. I mean, we'll play it. Seems unlikely to help us, but 6. Yeah, we're actually just dead on their turn, so GG's. So we got destroyed by Phoenix. Finding white mana in game 2 would have been helpful. We probably should have mulliganed a little more aggressively, but whatever. We're just here to have fun. Alright, we're going to be on the play against Barong. And our hand looks pretty good. We've got our colors, so we'll keep. Got some good stuff. We like High Noon to go with our Stormfist Crusaders. More Phoenix. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. It kind of makes me want to just resolve High Noon now while they're tapped out. There's the old Ledger Shredder. Alright. Let's play our Stormfist Crusader. They consider. Alright, we'll draw a card, we'll ping. Land number 4 for next turn is good. They take it. Let's play this Razorkin. They free the Fae. We do have a Surge of Salvation for next turn, so that's cool. They play the Picklock. They attack. Okay. Alright. Let's attack with our dudes. You can block the Razorkin, you can't block the Stormfist. Do we let that die? I think we do. Because we want to play Sheoldred this turn. And they scoop. So that's how the deck's supposed to work. Rest in peace. Grafdigger's Cage. Vanishing Verse, High Noon, Surge of Salvation. I think we'll just ditch the Thoughtseizes in this matchup. Ditch Avarice, cut one of each of these. So with this hand, we have a Sheoldred. We can't cast Vanishing Verse. All that we have really is a Razorkin. I don't know. I kept a apparently decent hand last game and got punished, so let's mull and see if we can find a hand that's better against them. Okay, here we have Rest in Peace and High Noon. We don't have white mana, however. We also have Grafdigger's Cage. So I'm going to keep this. What do I bottom here? Probably Mountain. Mountain does turn on my Blazemire Verge. But I don't need double red right now, so I'm going to bottom this Mountain. I need to find white mana. Okay, we draw Needlehead first draw. Okay, cool. It's possible I could have held on to this until a point when they actually have Phoenixes. Now this is a tap land, which is unfortunate. Draw another Rest in Peace. So this is going to eat a removal spell. Yep, they can't just hard cast Phoenixes. We get an extra look at a card. Okay, that's good. Let's attack. Play our Razorkin, because we can use this for red mana now. I think these Verges are just good. They're just really good. Crackling Drake. Alright, let's go fetch our planes. Let's Vanishing Verse this Phoenix. Attack with the Crusader. Play High Noon. Petty Theft. They just shock. How did the Phoenix come back from the graveyard? It didn't. Okay, good. It looked like it was going to, but it did not. Okay, and now they just die. Oh no, they don't, because we don't have our High Noon on the table. Let's attack. Do we just die? I think we do die to this Crackling Drake. Yep, just a little slow. We're gonna die to this Crackling Drake. Okay. Oh, we don't... Do we need Lauren of the third path? I don't think we do. I think we'd rather have... another Razorkin. Can we get the Stormfist back in too? Let's try it like this. We don't have any sideboard cards, so let's mulligan. Again, we don't have sideboard cards, but I guess... Well, we have a Grafdigger's Cage, so we'll keep... And bottom... Surge of Salvation? And I think I'll just Cage turn 1 so they can't Spell Pierce. Let's play a tap land. Maze Mind, okay. Go for Maze Mind. And I will Scry. Vanishing Verse. I think I would prefer a 4th land. In fact, I think I will Scry on my upkeep looking for land number 4. I would like to get down 5 lands so that I can play Sheoldred and hold up Surge. Alright, let's scry. Demolition Fields. Sounds good. Do I want to scry next turn too? Prof's eidetic memory. Alright. We'll exile the Shredder. Probably should have cracked Demolition Field there. Sure, let's scry. Get Lost. We can use a Get Lost. Cast Sheoldred. Okay. They did not find a removal spell for Shelley. That's great. We can take off this stop. Oh, I clicked through my attack step. Oops. Oh, I also left myself shields down for a removal spell. Boy, I played that terribly. Gonna opt and take some pings. Pranksters for days. It's a lot of picklock pranksters. That's a 2-4. So I skipped through a combat step. That's pretty bad. We'll see if that makes a difference. Alright, let us draw a card. Do I want to attack? Sure, I'll attack with Sheoldred. Continuing to draw cards, no fear. Gonna Otawara Sheoldred. We will Surge of Salvation. Alright. Let's get rid of their hall. Grab a plains. Vanishing Verse. Boy, it's just like... I need to restart Moto after this, I think, because it's like skipping right through my first main phase. Due to lag. Attack. Oh, I didn't play my Godless Shrine. Ugh, so laggy. Lightning Axe on Sheoldred, okay. They scoop. All right. So rematch versus Phoenix is victory. That's how it's supposed to go, you know. We should have a decent shot against Phoenix because we do punish their draws so heavily. Milky White Justice is our opponent. Their Lucky Offering Neko. I don't even know what that is. Are they playing mono white? This is a one-lander. Boy, these Razorkins look really cool, but haven't seen this art. Unfortunately, we have to mull this into another one-lander. Which doesn't even provide black mana. We're on the draw, and we get a Surveil. So I think I will keep. And bottom something. Probably Surge of Salvation. Like, I can cast it, but I have nothing to cast it on. Yeah, I know, but I don't know what this art is from. There's Thoughtseize. Takes our Thoughtseize. Alright, we draw a Godless Shrine. Just play our Elegant Parlor. It's skipping right to the beginning of combat. It's skipping right through my first main phase. I'll keep a Fabled Passage on top. Blood Tithe. It skips right to my beginning of combat step. Alright, I'm gonna shock this Godless Shrine. Gonna look at my settings. Okay, I think the problem is fixed. We'll see. I guess I could have just manually set a stop there, but I went into the settings to set it, because it should just have that on by default. Sure, we'll Fatal Push this Harvester. Fear of missing out. So they have 3 types in their graveyard. Probably just gonna hold on to this. Probably just gonna get lost this fear of missing out. Overlord. So we have to kill this because we don't want them to get 2 combat steps every combat. Alright, I guess we're gonna grab a swamp. It's a question if I should grab a swamp or a mountain. But I think in the dark, I'll grab a swamp. Alright, we draw Stormfist. I'm gonna play Stormfist. Gonna torch. I'll surge. Just because I have the mana up and nothing better to do with this. And I would like to draw some extra cards. Blood-Dyed Harvester. Gonna go exploring. Parhelion. So, are they like a Greasefang deck, huh? Parhelion? They don't have green mana. I guess they can... They get treasures off Fable? They might have some other way to gain treasures. Are they a Greasefang deck? I don't know. Is there a Mardu Greasefang deck circulating? I haven't really looked at the Pioneer meta lately. Alright, let's draw extra card. Underworld Dreams. I think I just want to get this down. I'm not going to chump, so I'll attack for 2. Yes, they are a Greasefang deck. What? Oh, he's just black and white. Okay. He's not green. So do we lose right this second? I think we do. 9 plus 2 angels. Yeah, that's 17 damage. So yeah, we die right now. Okay, I wasn't aware that that deck was around, but good to know. So we certainly want Rest in Peace. See, this is where Grafdigger's Cage isn't as good. I think I'll go for a Vanishing Verse and the Pithing Needles. And when we bring in all this interaction, we have to make cuts. Cut that, cut one of these. Maybe cut the Avarice. I don't know, maybe just 2 Vanishing Verse, because it doesn't actually kill Greasefang. I think this hand is way too slow and has no hate against them, so we have to mulligan. This hand also has no hate against what they're doing. I don't think this is a keepable hand either, honestly. Alright, and that's a 0 lander. So we have to go to 4, and we have to keep this. So we'll ditch... what? Vanishing Verse, Surge of Salvation. I want to keep the Pithing Needle because I can use it to name Parhelion. Maze Mind Tome can help me draw my way out of this. Thoughtseize can protect me against their Thoughtseize. So I think I'm bottoming my second land and just praying to the magic gods to find a second land in the first couple turns. Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Fable, Cathar Commando. It's going to be pretty hard to beat their hand, but I think we got to take Thoughtseize so that they don't take our Maze Mind Tome, which might be our only hope of getting back into this. They have a Cathar Commando. Well, sucks to miss a land drop there. It has Flash. Okay. I don't think you can keep a hand against them that doesn't do anything until turn 3 or 4. I've lost to Greasefang so many times on turn 3. I don't think you can keep a hand that doesn't have any graveyard hate, doesn't have any removal, doesn't have any way of interacting with their combo. Fable, and I don't know. I guess I'll go one more draw step. If I don't draw about land here, I'm just going to scoop. Tap land. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how we're going to get out of this. We're just going to die to their board. There's the Parhelion set up for the Cheesefang. Like, neither of those first two hints even had a Thoughtseize. Okay, good enough for me. Alright, we'll be on the play against Bozidar 2121. This hand looks good. On the play, we have a turn 1 Thoughtseize of a painless land, so we'll keep. We've got our main stop set now. What is happening here? Gold pan. Okay, some kind of treasure synergy. Killane. Reckless Fireweaver. So that's going to deal us a lot of damage. Considering we somehow don't have a removal spell, I think I will take the Fireweaver. Lannery Storm creates treasures. That creates a treasure. Gold Pan creates a treasure. Treasure Map creates treasures. I don't know. It's not a very powerful card, but given what is in our hand and what's in theirs, I think it's the best take. So we're punishing opponents for cards. They're punishing us for treasures. So I think we'll go for our Needlehead. Since they have no way in hand to deal with it. Play a Yield Treasure Map, which I like that card. That card's good. Alright, let's attack. Let's go land Thoughtseize. Goldhound, Lannery Storm, Goldspan Dragon, Killane. That's a treasure. I think we want to take Goldspan Dragon because they actually are. They're gonna get to the point where they can cast it. So that's their hand. And we'll play Stormfist. Doing a little scrying. Taking their ping. There's the hound. Do some drawing and pinging. Okay, we draw Underworld Dreams. Let's attack. So I think I'll shock. I'll play this Maze Mine Tome and draw a card. Hoping to find a black source. Gonna set an upkeep stop, so if I don't draw one right now, I can scry for it. Because I would love to deploy these Underworld Dreams. Captain Lannery Storm. Comes Lannery creating a treasure. And are they going to use their treasure to play Kalane? Gold Pan. That's a card you don't see too often in Pioneer. Yes. Here comes Kalane. Alright, we will draw a card. Another Underworld Dreams. Draws the Thoughtseize. Let's scry. Give me an untapped black source, please. It's not untapped, but we'll take it, I guess. So they have Gold Pan plus 2 unknown cards. So, do I want to attack with the Crusader? They would have to trade both their creatures. I think I just attack with the Needlekin. They chump. Alright, let's Thoughtseize. Gold Pan plus 2 lands. Canyon Slough and Swamp. Okay. So, I like our odds here. They scry to the top. They cycle a Canyon Slough and draw a card. Getting in. A lot of treasures. We're just gonna take it. Shrapnel Blast. Okay. Well, that gets us. Alright. So, Surge of Salvation, Heliod's Intervention. Maybe 1 Vanishing Verse. Cut Avarice. Gotta cut some of these guys when we bring in all of our interactive stuff. Loran's really good. Is High Noon good? I don't think High Noon is good against them. So let's keep in the Needlekins. Alright, this hand's good. Fatal Push is really good against them. We got a Maze Mine, so let's keep. It's the Hound. I don't need this upkeep stop any longer. So let's go ahead and Fatal Push the Hound. Fireweaver. Fatal Push that. Thoughtseize. Alright, well, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize, Shrapnel Blast, Fable. Killing. I mean, you gotta take Fable, right? And then we'll play a Maze Mine Tome. Go for a Scry. Sheoldred would be nice. Fabled Passage. Let's bottom that. Alright, there goes our Vanishing Verse. Do I want to upkeep Scry? Too late. Let's draw a card. Another Maze Mind. Okay. We'll do a Scry. Another Heliod's Intervention. I think these are going to be good eventually. So they have Shrapnel Blast plus one unknown card. Maybe I should have bought him the second one. Let's draw a card. Stormfist Crusader. Ah, I tapped my mana all wrong. Okay. Alright, let's draw another card. Set an upkeep stop. Too late. Sheoldred. They can Shrapnel Blast it, though. I'll play Stormfist Crusader. I'll block Killane if they attack. This is a gold span dragon. Yep. Okay. Alright, let's draw a card and gain 4. I'd love to draw Surge of Salvation. In fact, I want to upkeep Scry for it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's play this Triome. Play Sheoldred. Go. Vraska's Contempt. Surge of Salvation. And they can't respond by... I guess they can Shrapnel Blast by sacking their land in response. Yeah, they can sack their treasure for double red. And sack their treasure vault to Shrapnel Blast. Okay, they're doing my face. Okay, so now the dragon is just lethal. Okay. Well, that's too bad. I think maybe keeping double Heliod's was bad. Maybe I should just kept the 1. Jim Roy is our final opponent. We'll be on the draw. Gigantha, so it could be aggro. In which case our hand is really bad. Our opponent mulliganed, so... Gigantha could mean a lot of things, but Rakdos Aggro is definitely one of those things. And this hand just loses to that. So I think I'll take a mulligan since our opponent did as well. And we have a hand that still has no removal, but we'll keep this. Opponent mulls to 5, bottom Sheoldred. Yep, looks like it's aggro. High Noon. Needlehead will go into the graveyard because we don't even have double red right now. Yep, this is going to be tough. Sheoldred will be good if we can survive. High Noon might actually help us do that. Now the question is, do I want a Vampiric Tutor with the Sensational Outburst? I think I want to save it as a burn spell for when I have Sheoldred. Take 5 here. Alright. I think I'm going to be a little too slow. Like, if I could have drawn a Fatal Push or something there, a removal spell, I might have had a chance, but I think just drawing land there is going to seal our fates. They post-combat play that. Alright, Sheoldred, can you keep us alive? Very unlikely. Alright. I'm gonna block there. But there's no way that I survive this. Yep. Okay. So that's the ridiculousnesses of Rakdos Aggro for you. Surge of Salvation, double Vanishing Verse. Dress. Heliod's Intervention can gain life. High Noon. All this stuff is way too slow. Thoughtseize is a little painful. Cut some of our creatures. Something like that. Alright, let's see if being on the play helps us any. Gigantha. We have a removal spell. Actually, I think Surge isn't very good because the mouse is like each opponent, I think. We have a removal spell. We've got Sheoldred and we're on the play, so I'm going to keep this. There's the mouse. Boy, when they have the mouse turn 1, they always seem to have it. You just gotta kill their creatures as quickly as possible. They plot a slick shot show off. Alright, I'm just gonna play that tapped. I'm gonna save this Triumph to cycle. Feeble. Oh no, it's Kumano. Okay. That's better than Fable. Not as bad. They do not bring out their bird. Another Slickshot show off. Alright, Sheoldred. I've drawn one Get Lost. I have another Get Lost. I have 3 Fatal Push. I have 4 Vanishing Verses. So I've gotten pretty bad luck as far as drawing removal, I would say. Titan Strength. So they're up to 10 damage. Titan Strength enters the revealed zone. They left it on top. They're up to 16 damage. Yep. Now, that's the deck is so ridiculous. Okay. All right. So that was a 1-4 for Rakdos draw lose, and we did do quite a bit of losing, although the matches were closer than our record would appear. I think definitely made some misplays. I think in that like Shrapnel Blast matchup, I should not have kept double Heliod's Intervention. Maybe Heliod's Intervention is not even a good card to bring in there. Just because they're so good at like spending those treasures. What is it really good against? It's good against the treasures, but like they always have a way of getting value off the treasures. So just making them spend treasures, I don't think is really worth it. In that last matchup, we just didn't draw removal spells. We had like a ton of removal spells in and after sideboarding. We even mulliganed once and only found like one singular Get Lost. We're on the play and had a Sheoldred, and like it wasn't good enough because that deck just is ridiculous. But anyway, it was fun playing the Modern League. I haven't really booted up my Mana Traders account. Haven't booted up Moto for a long time. Played pretty badly as a consequence. We did beat Izzet Phoenix, though. That was pretty cool. And as far as the deck goes, I think it's cool. It's not like super duper competitive, I would say. The mana is really rough. I think maybe Underworld Dreams should be a one of or should not be in the deck at all, just because of the problems it presents with actually casting it, and because it's just maybe too slow in Pioneer. I could see cutting Underworld Dreams, replacing that with 2 other, I don't know, more removal spells, like a full playset of Lightning Helix might be really helpful for this deck. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe just swapping 2 Underworld Dreams for 2 Lightning Helix, and that would let you adjust the mana base a lot so that you aren't as concerned about like making sure that you have triple black on the battlefield relatively early, which is what this mana base is kind of designed to do. So I think, yeah, having the Underworld Dreams be just like a little bit of a splash would free up, would make the mana base a little bit more consistent and prevent color screw. Yeah, I think I played pretty bad. We got a bit unlucky. Yeah, apart from that, I think the deck is basically okay. I don't know if it's gonna win like an RCQ or anything, but I think it could do well on a good draw. It certainly has the tools that it needs to hate out the decks that are popular. It's just a matter of drawing the cards you need. And that's another thing is like you could always use more card draw in a deck like this that has like, I don't know, we've got 2 Maze Mind Tomes and Insatiable Avarice, which is really just kind of a burn spell. In a 24 land deck, I could see like having another Maze Mind Tome or some other card draw piece. I do like Maze Mind Tome because we do take damage off our Stormfist Crusaders. Sometimes we do want to shock lands into play, so that can result in a little bit of pain. And Thoughtseize, of course. So I do like that Maze Mind Tome gives you a little bit of life. There's always the argument of like, would this be better as Reckoner Bankbuster? For this deck, I value the life gain, and the scrying ability more than I value the possibility of having a 4/4. But yeah, overall, I think the deck is pretty cool, and it could do better than it did tonight. But it was fun. It was nice to get into a league of Moto and take a look at the Pioneer meta, which I haven't really played much of at all recently. I've been more standard focused. And we got trounced, but, you know, it wasn't a complete trouncing. We did pull a win off one of the most meta decks in the format and had some close games as well. But anyway, that is going to do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed Mardu Draw Lose Control, starring Sheoldred and company. And the Razorkin Needlehead gets a nod. I do really like this card. It's very fun. But that's going to do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Come back next Saturday for more MTG spicy content. And I do stream MTG every Friday night on Twitch. There's a link to my Twitch channel in the description of the video below. So hope you have a good weekend, everyone. Take care. See you in the next one.